I miss you, Mum. It's been too long. Thanks for the care package. These are the familiar words penned by soldiers from the front lines. But while we might be familiar with such correspondences in our own time, what did it look like 2,000 years ago? Today, let's travel back to experience what it was like to send letters from the Roman front lines.
The reenactment footage for this video was provided by the team at Imperium Romanum. They are a fantastic reenactment group based out of the actual Rhine frontier, who produce in-depth documentaries on both military and civilian life. Their content is highly educational and extremely well produced, with videos that put Hollywood to shame and are the best we've seen of this kind. Be sure to check out their YouTube channel linked in the description below and give them some support. Making these documentaries takes a lot of work, and I'm always on the lookout for ways to squeeze more productive time out of my day. That's where today's sponsor, HelloFresh, comes in. But I'll be honest here, I've actually been using their service for a few years now and can highly recommend it as a longtime user. The basic idea is that they deliver delicious recipes right at your door. This cuts out the hassle of weekly meal planning, grocery shopping, and deciding what to eat each night. For me, this was a huge win in terms of taking control of my time and my budget. What I appreciate the most is that I now get to experience the fun of cooking a wide range of meals with robust flavors and filling portions that can be ready in less than 15 minutes. As an example, when I got back from a long hike this weekend, I was tempted to order out, but looking through my package from HelloFresh, I found this awesome pork and zucchini bibimbap recipe. The directions were super easy to follow, the portion size was great, and the final taste was honestly restaurant quality. But what's even better is that this is just one of over 35 weekly recipes that you can choose from that will help you achieve your New Year's goals. Choose calorie-smart and carb-smart recipes, or even customize select meals by swapping out proteins or sides, upgrading your proteins, or adding protein to a veggie dish. So if you're looking to avoid crunch time takeout, to shake up a repetitive diet, or simply save time and money, then try it out by going to HelloFresh.com and use the code Invicta21 for 21 free meals plus free shipping. Enjoy!
The Roman army was stationed across the far corners of the ancient world, and while they are most famously known for the campaigns they conducted across these theatres of war, most of their time on the front was spent outside of combat. As we have covered previously, this involved training, patrolling, escorting, policing, watchtower duty, manual labour, and a host of other activities. Yet, even still, much of service life was filled with boring downtime. Thus, soldiers found every means to keep their spirits lifted. Often, this meant relaxing or socializing with their new friends in the army. Over decades spent in the service, these brothers in arms would become almost like family. But there was no replacement for one's true family. After all, the longing for home lay just as heavily on a soldier's heart as it does today. For some lucky soldiers, a homecoming might actually be possible if they were close enough to make it there and back within their approved period of leave. For many, though, posted hundreds of miles away, such a reunion would have to wait many years, if not decades. Thus it was that soldiers across the empire kept in touch by sending letters back home. But how was this achieved 2,000 years ago? For starters, we must address how a soldier would even go about writing a letter in the first place, given that literacy rates were certainly far lower than they are today. But how much so is a matter of academic debate. Ranges vary greatly from low model estimates of around 1% to high model estimates of around 20%. Naturally, these figures will rise and fall depending on definitions, time periods, locations, and demographics. Literacy among your average Roman soldier likely followed somewhat similar trends to the general public, with the upper ranks skewing towards the higher end of competency. And yet, while a random sampling of troops in camp might not yield someone capable of reading, let alone writing a letter, it would not have been hard to find someone who could. After all, the Roman army was a huge bureaucratic machine, powered by armies of scribes who handled most of the paperwork for things such as logistics, finances, and communications. Even if these folks were too busy to help you, then there would always be private merchants coming in and out of camp who might be of service. Such men swarmed over army camps looking for ways to make money, and the market for letter writing was likely always in high demand. So now that you found a friend, a scribe, or a merchant to write your letter, what would this process look like? Letters could be written on many mediums, such as wax tablets, wooden boards, or even hides. But sheets of papyrus seem to have been among the most common. These were widely produced and could be procured relatively cheaply. As for the writing utensil, a reed stylus, or calamus, was common. A scribe merely had to spend a minute whittling the tip into the correct shape. Once achieved, this pen would be dipped in carbon-based ink and used to write a few words before returning to the inkwell. As one might imagine, writing long letters could take a lot of time and resources. Thus, your rank-and-file correspondences were likely more short and sweet, while the elite could afford to wax on and on at their leisure. Julius Caesar is a famous example of a general who had entire tomes published whilst on campaign. In fact, the letter being written in this demonstration is an excerpt of just one page from his Gallic War commentaries. But supposing that a letter had been written, how was it sent? Well, for this, the Roman army was well equipped. The same roads which allowed troops to march efficiently across the empire also helped with the critical flow of information. Officials and the higher-ups could make use of the state postal system known as the cursus publicus. It involved a vast network of couriers and way stations ready to send messages from point A to B at a blistering speed of up to around 250 kilometers a day. In this way, a message from the Germanic frontier could reach Rome in as quickly as a week. Others had to rely on friends, slaves, or merchants who could not achieve the same level of expedited services. Nonetheless, it was still reasonable to expect that one's letter from Britain to Egypt could make the journey in about a month or two. But what chance did it have of landing in the right hands? Well, just as today, letters had an address by which to reach the intended recipient. Here are a few examples from surviving records. To Epimachus in Philadelphia from Apion, his son. Deliver at Caranis to Thesis from her son Apollinarius of Misenum. Deliver at the camp of the first cohort of the Apameni to Julianus, vice secretary, this letter from Apion to be forwarded to his father Epimachus. So now let's assume that a letter has finally arrived. What did it say? Well, just about anything. After all, evidence suggests that letter writing was quite common in antiquity, and therefore we can expect there to have been hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of correspondences which made their way across the ancient postal systems over the centuries. Unfortunately, most of these have been lost to time. A lucky few, however, have been preserved. Some owe their survival to the idea that prominent figures actually mass-produced their letters for public consumption. However, the private correspondences of everyday individuals survive mostly thanks to having been laid to rest in environments which have naturally preserved them. Among the most famous of these are the Vindolanda tablets. Several hundred of these were discovered in the bogs located next to a Roman camp, which seems to have been used as a trash heap of sorts. The documents record official military matters as well as personal messages to and from members of the garrison of Vindolanda, their families, and their slaves. Here are a few select readings. From a family member to their son, quote, "I have sent you woolen socks, 2 pairs of sandals, and 2 pairs of underpants." From a man to the commanding officer of the 9th cohort of Batavians, quote, Hostilius Flavianus to his Cerialis, greetings. A fortunate and happy new year. From Claudia Severa to her sister Sullicia Lepidina, the wife of the same commander, quote, Claudia Severa to her Lepidina, greetings. On 11 September, sister, for the day of the celebration of my birthday, I give you a warm invitation to make sure that you come to us, to make the day more enjoyable for me by your arrival, if you are present. Give my greetings to your Cerialis. My Elias and my little son send him their greetings. I shall expect you, sister. Farewell, sister, my dearest soul, as I hope to prosper and hail. From a decurion to his prefect, quote, Masculus to his Veracundus. Greetings. The Rhaetian men have asked me to request from you leave for 3 men of the Rhaetians who are under your charge, Liticus, Vitalis, and Victor, and from the Vacontii, Augustanus, Cusius, Bellicus. And I ask, my lord, that you order the return of the cleaving knife which is in the possession of Talampus, of the century of Nobilis, because it is needed by us. I have sent you the plants through Talio of the Peregriniana troop. I hope that you and yours enjoy good fortune. Farewell. From the same decurion in a later correspondence, quote, Please, my lord, give instructions as to what you want us to have done tomorrow. Are we to return with the standard to the shrine at the crossroads altogether, or half of us? Most fortunate, and be well disposed towards me. Farewell. He then adds, quote, My fellow soldiers have no beer. Please order some to be sent. Another priceless trove of documents comes from the Egyptian city of Oxyrhnychus, whose dry desert preserved hundreds of written records that made their way onto another trash heap. It is within this archaeological site that researchers have found a wealth of documents. These include fragments of texts pertaining to works of poetry, drama, history, mathematics, legalities, and administration. Discoveries like these from the sands of Egypt are still ongoing, but so far have uncovered several letters from soldiers serving afar in the Roman army. One of these comes from a man who had recently shipped out. Quote, Apollinarius to Thesis, his mother and lady, many greetings. Before all, I pray for your health. I myself am well, and make supplication for you before the gods of this place. I wish you to know, mother, that I arrived in Rome in good health on the 20th of the month Parcon, and was posted to Misenum, though I have not yet learned the name of my company, for I had gone to Misenum at the time of writing this letter. I beg you then, mother, look after yourself and do not worry about me, for I have come to a fine place. Please write me a letter about your welfare and that of my brothers and all of your folk. And whenever I find a messenger, I will write to you. Never will I be slow to write. Many salutations to my brothers and Apollinarius and his children, and Caralus and his children. I salute Ptolemaeus and Ptolemais and her children, and Heraclus and her children. I salute all who love you, each by name. I pray for your health. Here is a letter from a man named Apion, who also writes back upon transferring to Italy. Apion to his father and Lord Epimachus. Very many greetings. First of all, I hope you are in good health and that things are going well for you and my sister and her daughter and my brother. I thank the Lord Serapis for saving me straight away when I was in danger at sea. When I arrived at Port Misenum, I received 3 gold pieces from the emperor for traveling expenses, and I'm doing just fine. Now I ask you, my lord and father, write me a letter about your own well-being. Second, about that of my brother and sister, and third, so that I may devotedly greet your hand, because you brought me up well, and I may therefore hope for rapid promotion, the gods willing. Send my regards to Capiton and my brother and sister and Serenilla and my friends. I'm sending you my portrait through Euctemon. My new Roman name is Antonius Maximus. My company is Athenonica. I pray for your health. Another man by the name of Polion, however, seems to have had less luck corresponding with his family. I pray that you are in good health night and day, and I always make obeisance before all the gods on your behalf. I do not cease writing to you, but you do not have me in mind. But I do my part writing to you always, and do not cease bearing you in mind and having you in my heart. But you never wrote to me concerning your health, how you are doing. I am worried about you because although you received letters from me often, you never wrote back to me so that I may know how you are. He addresses other family members. I sent 6 letters to you. The moment you have me in mind, I shall obtain leave from the commander, and I shall come to you so that you may know that I am your brother. For I demanded nothing from you for the army, but I fault you because although I write to you, none of you has consideration. Alas, we shall never know what became of these soldiers or the rest of their comrades whose letters back home have been lost to the ages. Nonetheless, I hope that these echoes of their lives can help remind us of their humanity and help ground our understanding of the past through the shared experience of life. After all, it will only be a matter of time before we all pass through the sands of time as well. I hope you've appreciated this topic. A huge thanks to the team at Imperium Romanum for their awesome reenactment work. I also wanted to shout out to the patrons who support the channel, as well as the researchers, writers, and artists who made our episodes a reality. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content and check out these other related episodes. See you in the next one.